Hans Zimmer is an award-winning composer who has done the score for movies such as Pirates of the Caribbean, The Lion King, Inception, and The Dark Knight. I will be talking about music from his movies and the impact they have had on audio. The first movie he worked on was The Lion King. He composed 4 songs: This Land, To Die For, Under the Stars, and King of Pride Rock. He won Best Original Score at the Oscars, 2 Grammys, and a Golden Globe for the movie's soundtrack. The next franchise he worked on was Pirates of the Caribbean. His most well-known song for this movie would obviously be the theme song. Moving on, he worked on The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises. He collaborated with people on the soundtrack. In 2010, he worked on Inception. Hans Zimmer is a German composer who originally lived in the United Kingdom. He has won many awards such as 4 Grammys, 3 Brit Awards, 2 Golden Globes, and an Academy Award. He has done an assortment of other movies such as Ella Enchanted, As Good as It Gets, The Holiday, Castaway, Muppet Treasure Island, The Borrowers, Mission Impossible 2, I Am Sam, Over the Hedge, B-Movie, Transformers 1 and 2, and The Edge of 17. I've always remembered Pirates of the Caribbean as being one of my favorite movie soundtracks. I used to be in orchestra and we used to play it all the time, and I just love hearing soundtrack, and I think that Hans Zimmer has had a really big impact on movie soundtracks today and for the past decade. Hans Zimmer got his start when he was approached to do the film Rain Man. A director named Barry Levinson was looking for someone to score the film Rain Man after seeing Zimmer's work with the film A World Apart, and the film Rain Man actually was nominated for an Academy Award, and it went on to win 4 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. An interesting fact about Batman is that Zimmer represented the character the Joker from a single note played on the cello, which is really interesting, and he collaborated with James Newton Howard and Martin Tillman, and he wanted to make people hate the Joker because the Joker is the villain in The Dark Knight, and he wanted, quote, "I wanted to write something people would truly hate." Obviously shows he is a very creative person and thinks specifically about how the characters in the movie, the soundtrack and the movies and the character all relate, and how the soundtrack can really build the mood of a film. As for Zimmer's awards, he won an Academy Award for The Lion King. He also won a Golden Globe for The Lion King and Gladiator. He won 2 Grammys for The Lion King for Best Instrumental Arrangement with Accompanying Vocals and Best Musical Album for Children. He won a Grammy Award for Crimson Tide, and he also won a Grammy Award for The Dark Knight, which was shared with James Newton Howard. The Brit Awards he won was one for The Dark Knight, which was shared with James Newton Howard. He won Best Composer of the Year for The Dark Knight Rises and Man of Steel, and he also won Outstanding Contribution to Music in association with Raymond Weil, and he also won a WFCA Award and a World Soundtrack Award for Inception. Overall, I think Hans Zimmer has had a really big impact on the soundtrack and movie world, and I think we can all learn from him to really get inside the characters' minds in movies and just really think about what's really going on in the movie and how we want it to feel and how we want it to impact us in our lives.